I want to talk about if I'm profitable in 2025. There's a lack of transparency in the trader space, and I want to show you the actual screenshots. The whole idea behind my results, why they're this way, but I'm also going to talk about the strategies I've been talking about on YouTube inside my account so you can actually see the stuff I'm teaching, what it's producing for me. Because I just don't teach to teach. I teach to get better. I teach to have strategies that can increase my profit. So here's the 4 things we're going over today. 2024, what was it like? What was it like leading up to this year? What changed for me? Because I had to make a huge change. I had to adapt a lot of things. I'm going to be going over 2 of my main accounts that I trade off of this year, the results on both, the screenshots, and as well the background so you could see what happened to produce those results. Because my results don't mean anything, but the lessons I learned and the strategies that affected them are the most important thing for you guys to take away from this video. So let's go over 2024. That was a pivotal year for me. I had 6-figure years, but we're talking multi-6 figures now. And this is all done from the wheel. The results in the process that got me here was just wheeling Tesla, and then I had Bitcoin, and then I eventually shorted Bitcoin with MSTR. So 3 big trades, just wheeling those for 3 months apiece, produced those results. I wasn't buying leaps on this account. This account does not even have leap buying ability. It only allows me to sell calls and puts, hence the wheel. But how does someone hit 20% every single month with the wheel? That's pretty insane. And that's a lot of the secrets I teach on my YouTube channel. How do we hit that? What stocks do we use? A lot of those secrets you guys already know. But I want to go over basically after that year what my goal was moving forward. Because it's not so much important like what happened in the past. It's my mindset in 2025. It was totally different. I basically went through last year and it felt like T-ball. It felt like things were too easy. And I was like, there has to be another level that makes this a little bit more challenging and increases my profit. And that's when I said, I'm going to be the leap guy this year. I'm going to figure out how to master leaps and how to truly understand them to produce some type of consistency. Because the wheel could do 5 to 20% last year. Leaps, if I did them last year at the same time, let's say I did those trades instead of the wheel, I would have took 150K to 2 million. So 500K was an undercut of what I should have been doing. And I realized that I had some leaps at the moment and I saw the potential if I used more. So honestly, the big transition for me this year was how do I just size into leaps like a madman? Because look, if you see the chart here, you guys know, you've been on this channel for years. I called the legitimate bottom on Tesla 4 months before it actually bottomed. And we were buying leaps, we were doing the wheel, a mixture of both. But what happened was the stock went to 250 and I thought that was it. That was my key level. That was the run. I was out of this thing. Little did I know it went to 400. It went to 500. I mean, Tesla went much further than we could have ever imagined. And I called the actual bottom of it. So the wheel got me a lot of money, but I missed out because I didn't hammer leaps as much and I didn't hold through the move. So a lot of lessons from Tesla. But again, here's the proof. That was a post from years ago at this point, and you could see the $100,000 profit from one single play. So the potential of one play making your year is very high. And the best traders focus and they're narrow in on one thing. They have one thing that makes up most of their money. And that's what I focus on year after year after year at this point. How do I have a couple core positions make up my profits for the year? So moving forward, we're at 2025. 2024 was amazing. It was a blowout year for me, and I wanted to push myself to the next level. And it wasn't, how do I do option selling better? I had a system. I taught thousands of students how to do it. We have a software that picks out options. Like, it's so simple to sell puts. You can do it with your eyes closed. At this point, it's too easy, and I want to have something more challenging. So I completely flipped to figuring out how do we master leaps. And by the time I made this flip and totally committed myself to this, I actually bought leaps at the market top. So at the market top, I put in 150K, I buy leaps, and the market crashes week after week after week. And what happened was, the first week, I actually got lucky. The market's falling, things don't feel like they're terrible, and my portfolio is somehow up $80,000. I bought Airbnb before earnings. That was like a $40,000 possible profit. I had Uber, I had SoFi, I had a lot of good leaps at that moment, and they instantly profited. So my 150K was up 50% in 1 week. So I felt like I was going to be on that $1 million year, no questions asked. Like it was going to be the easiest profit ever in my career. Week 2, a little bit of that profit goes backwards. I didn't really scale out. I'm trying to hold for $1 million. So obviously, we're just still trying to maximize that profit, but it's not going up. It's actually going down. In week number 3, the market is tanking. At this point, Trump's talking about tariffs. He unveils this big, long list of tariffs all across the country that he's going to put on other countries. And that third week right here, that massive drop, I'm like, I'm out. I can't do this. I can't mentally watch the market crumble. Leaps are just a lot more aggressive than I thought when it comes to the P&L fluctuations. So the mental game when something is hard to train, you have to kind of go through it and hit that at your own speed. Because seeing the numbers fly that quickly is something not many people can adjust to and adapt to, especially at a big level. You want to have $1 million year, well, you're going to see 100K swings per day. You're going to see $50,000 fluctuate per hour. So if you want to see those bigger steps, the mental barrier of seeing the fluctuations is a bigger deal in my mind. And honestly, I could not. It was more so I was on vacation. I was in Europe for the first time with my kids. We were on a cruise going to Europe. And I was just like, seeing money drop out of my account every day on vacation just was not a good way to spend vacation. So I hit the pause, I got out, and I said, look it, I'm a great trader in a great market with good volatility. I see an opportunity. If I do, I'll take it, and I'll go heavy. Because I've been watching the market for weeks fall, and every single day the market's falling, I'm thinking that would have been 1,000% trade. That would have been 500%. If I just had 30K, I would have made 6 figures. And for me, I've never had a 6-figure day trade. And a lot of these gurus on Instagram are flexing 100K days all the time, and they disappear. They're just gone. And I want to keep up with these weirdos that are flexing. They're always flexing Lambos and Rolexes and big money, but they just don't survive another year. They're just not somebody that can be in this for the long run. But for some reason, I wanted to compete with these guys and have a 6-figure day myself. I had the skill set to actually make it happen, and I did. So all my money's liquid. I'm at a $30,000 loss, and I hit it. I hit a $100,000 trade. You can see the video here. 150K's in this trade. I close it out, and that's a $90,000 day. Almost 6 figures. I'll call it there. But I go for market order. I click send, and you can see this P&L, $88,000 in a single day. This isn't my Thinkorswim account. Here's the actual year-to-date profit on that account. It's $100,000 minus those losses I told you about. I had $30,000 in losses from various trades, including Ethereum, which screwed me on one part of the markets. But that's a net $60,000 profit. So hopefully you're staying with me at this point. We have $60,000 of profit, even with the market falling apart, even with the massive market meltdown. So at this point, I've learned huge lessons you need to understand. So take a pause here, really internalize these 4 lessons, because they would have changed everything for me if I understood them in that moment, and I did not make those mistakes. Number 1, never, ever, ever take a stop loss with leaps unless you're 6 months in. The whole point of a leap is time. Time is the benefit of the leap. It doesn't matter if you're up or down in the first month. You're trying to maximize a trend in a time. So you want to hold that thing for at least 6 months, whether it's green or red, because the green trades can go 1,000%, but they won't do that unless you hold it. And the red trades can turn green, and they don't do that unless you hold it. So you have to be careful taking a stop loss and an early profit. Getting out of leaps early is the biggest mistake I've made last year, this year, in my career at all. Like I said, Tesla should have been 1,000% last year, should have been $1 million profit, just one single trade. But again, you get out of leaps like 3 months in, and then the next 3 months it goes up 1,000%. Just don't undercut the time opportunity of the leap. So don't take stop losses, don't take early profits is kind of the lesson there. Size out, but don't size out fully if you're going to take a profit. The second key lesson, this is something everybody here is probably going to make a mistake with, is buy the right amount. So the first time you buy Leap, what's the right amount? It's the amount you won't panic sell, right? So if the market crashes, you're down 60%, it can come back. If you have time, it can come back. But the only reason you're going to panic sell is because you don't want to lose more money. But again, you need to understand leaps can go to zero, and they are worth going to zero if you have an opportunity to make 500%. So let the losers fall and let them keep falling. Just hold. Because if you have the winners win, they're going to pay for the losers. So don't panic sell the losers early, because you don't even know where they're going to go in 12 months. They could be the biggest winner of your life if you kept holding. The second thing you have to ask yourself, what is the right amount? It's the amount that you can add to and double down, triple down on. So it's never an amount that's like all in, whether the market's good or bad, that's it. No, you need to be adding to these. Think about like dollar cost averaging. You're just trying to DCA with leverage in a bull market. Leaps allow you to extend your gains, maximize your profit in a bull market. We don't know when the market's going to run. We don't know how long it's going to run, but we know historically every market returns 7% on average every year. So is it going to return 7% this month? Probably not. Next month, you have a higher chance of making that exaggerated market return if you just keep buying leaps every month. That way you put yourself in a place to buy the dip or buy and make money because it just automatically starts running. Who knows? Lesson number 3, like I just said, never stop buying. Over the past, let's say 6 months since the bottom, literally no pullbacks. And some stocks are going vertical in the craziest ways. We're looking at OKLO, EOS, Iron, like a lot of the energy stocks have gone up 1,000%, just the stocks, maybe 5x. And we're talking if you're in any leaps, you're getting 800, 1,000, 2,000%. Like you would have made more money you could have ever imagined if you bought leaps every month this year. And you would have even hit a bad patch and still made money. If you kept buying, you would have made more than you can have even imagined. So lesson number 4, huge lesson, never stop buying, never take a stop loss. And I think the biggest lesson from that is see SoFi here. I got into SoFi at $14. I got stopped out at 10. It ran to 30. So if SoFi doubles 100% return, leaps make 3 to 5x that. So we're talking 500%. So I get stopped out for 50% loss, and it runs for a 500% gain. That was dumb. I should have just kept buying, which is lesson number 3, right? Just keep buying. Keep buying SoFi. Lesson number 4, super important. Here's the last screenshot of my other big account. You just need 2 to 3 big setups a year. Stop trying to trade every day. Stop trying to trade every week. Stop trying to force something every month. Like I know we want to have consistency, but you just hit a couple big times to trade a year, to enter a stock, to enter a leap, to enter a CSP. Set and forget. Like that's all you need. You can see the chart here. I crushed April. I got I think $30,000 to $60,000 of profit in April. I started the leap challenge again 2 months ago. I think I hit $20,000 in 2 months with you guys, giving you all my trades. And then here I hit a $90,000 day trade again. what happened in the middle here? I just enjoyed my life, right? Like, you don't need to be always in the market. You don't need to be always hammering things if you don't want to. The point is, conviction pays. And you don't need to be convicted every day on a million tickers. Conviction is one ticker at the best moment ever. Conviction is finding your perfect entry and waiting for it, and having 3 tickers, 4 tickers, and waiting for one of them to hit. So for me, if I was going to tell you the easiest conviction formula, it's wait for the triple Qs to hit 30 RSI on the weekly chart. That's generational wealth buying. Like, if you just bought the markets at 30 RSI, you would never have to worry a day in your life if you're going to make money. That's high conviction. That's COVID. That's 2022. It's 2025. There's 3 opportunities in the last 5 years for that entry. That's just a big example. I mean, Tesla hits, let's call it, I think it was the monthly, who knows? I mean, Tesla hit 30 RSI once, in 3 years. And over here, when I was buying, it was at like 34. That's still very dang low. The point is, everybody, conviction, conviction, conviction. At this point, I think I'm going to put my whole net worth in Amazon and Uber and some of these other leaps we're looking at, and Airbnb, because I've already identified my favorite stocks. It's time to go deep. It's time to hammer out big positions. And so it's not the perfect entry, I would say, for every single play, but some plays are better than others, and some plays might deserve more leverage because of that. So I am up, as you can see, $140K in one portfolio, $60,000 in the other portfolio, so a $210,000 a year. This is not counting some crypto holdings, some long-term holdings, but these are the big lesson learned portfolios that I've been trying to grow my knowledge with. So I want to show you what those look like. These are legitimate. These are the gains that I have. I don't have any big losses or even bigger gains than this. Every portfolio is a little bit smaller, but the point is, this is legit. You're hearing stuff from me that's real. You're seeing the results that are real. I'm backing it up, and I'm actually giving out my trades. I'm showing screenshots. I'm showing videos of these trades live. Nothing is ever faked. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Enjoy the Leap Challenge. You guys got a month left. And if you guys want to watch a video to the right of me of the latest Amazon purchase, check it out. Peace, everybody.